So I want you to check out this dialogue.
No, Cory, you're doing perfectly fine, trust me.
I need something to play. I hate this like.
What should you play?
Wow, he's killing.
No, play Thank You, Lord, for all you've done for me. A flat.
Okay, so she must be a musician. She's asking him to play a song. He's asking what key he's in. He barely knows the song. So I want you to see what happens.
Thursday, man.
Joy.
This is happening in churches all over the country. See, a lot of you, when you first saw this video, this is back in maybe 2008, and he looks like he was still a teenager. Okay, and a lot of you are wanting that gospel sound, and you're asking, how do I get that? And before we even start this, I need to ask you something. Are you looking at gospel through a gospel lens, or are you trying to look at it through your lens? And do you understand the contributions that the gospel has had on music as a whole? When I study jazz, I study the theory. They have a way of articulating things that is very different than a person who grew up in a church setting. And if you're a classical person, you're coming from reading sheet music. We have a totally different approach. And so we have a contribution that we bring to music as a whole, that if you really want to play with this level of feel, that you have to understand it from our lens. Cory Henry and a lot of church musicians grew up in a church setting, and everything is ear and feel. I'm trying to approach it and think how they are thinking, not in another genre's lens, but from the lens of the musician who is playing. So let's look at this through the framework of a gospel musician and just kind of explain it from that point of view. I'm not going to do the whole song. I'm going to do just this intro part here.
Thursday, man.
So this song that he's doing right now, he's doing the intro to Thank You, Lord, for all you've done for me. So let's see these first couple chords here. So that's just going to be. So this is just a 4-5-1 in the key of A flat, right? But in the gospel musician, we know we're going to kind of voice this the way that gives it a little bit more dissonance. See, instead of going, we may, right? Right, something like that would work. And this is just his walk up to an A flat chord. But let's see what is happening
Thursday, man.
So that there. So this is just kind of, F is the intended. If we're in the key of A flat, the 6 would be an F chord, right? And so we are looking at how we can kind of color that F chord by using diminished chords around it. So we have a diminished chord above it, we have a diminished chord below it, and now we can kind of just, right, just kind of lick that up. Okay, let's look at the next part here. So this is that move there is, it's his way to get to this A flat chord, right? And so again, we're seeing a lot of these approach movements that we're using, right? So that's what he's kind of doing. Because when the gospel musician, we want to feel things. A lot of you are like, Sean, how come you approximate the chord? Well, because that's how the gospel musician thinks. We want to make sure that we have the feeling of what he's doing. Now, if I were to check this out. Okay, so I like that sound down an octave, right? It's supposed to be this, right? But I would do I would like that sound there, changing that instead of using the B flat minor there, change it to a G flat major. And this may even change this to a diminished chord, right? So, right? Right? So now we're there, and then, so that's kind of the movement there. So I'll do that slowly. And again, I'm using different chords. He may have played an F, right? And went up to this diminished, and then he may have went to a B flat minor, or he may even have this. But I'm saying doing it like that, using two diminished. So, right, and then, right. So that's kind of how I'm seeing that movement, where this is just really a melody-based approach, harmonizing that melody with pretty much major chords and diminished chords.
Joy.
Right. So that's an approach to this A flat major chord. Oh man. Okay, so that whole part there, you may say, Sean, how do you explain that from the gospel musician's perspective? Let me back out here though, and this is, I want to show you why this is so crazy, the movement that he's doing. It's because in essence, it's coming from a 2-5-1. So the original song is "Thank You, Lord, for all," which is a 2. I'm in the key of A flat, and the 2 would be a B flat. "For all you've done," which is a 5 chord, "for me," 1 chord. So what if you see it through that lens? That's crazy. Because how many of us would harmonize a 2-5-1 that way, right? It's so different. I mean, remember this. I want you to listen to what he's doing. Are you hearing that? That's the context. And that's what we play. And this is such a different, this level of harmonization as we analyze this gospel musician. Listen to that. See it again. I'll play it with him so you can see. Okay. Very loose, very loose. Let's see if we can play that first, and just kind of play that, what he did. All right, so. All right. Something like that, right, is what is going on. Isn't that crazy? And this is done, again, on the spot. This is what we want. And in order to do this, we really have to, we almost have to let go of our ideas of how music works. We really need to be comfortable with just learning to harmonize with melodies. And I think this is the thing that really sets gospel apart from other genres, is our emphasis on the melody, because historically we've always had to accompany singers. So it's a very melody-based, very melody-driven genre. We're either accompanying a soloist or a choir, right? There's not a lot of gospel music that's just doesn't have vocals, right? So our approach is based on vocals and how we color around that. And so it's a different approach. And so this is the reason why you study this channel, because you really want to look at gospel music through a gospel music lens and not through the lens that you learned music, whatever that is. I just find this to be a really interesting approach here. So jeez, man. And then when he went, so this is replacing here, this is replacing the B flat chord. It's a reharmonization. But while still at this top note, because the singer is singing the D flat, he changes to, right? Now someone may try to intellectualize this and say, oh, maybe it's he's implying the E sus13, right? And we could give that kind of explanation on it. But that, again, is not what the gospel musician is thinking. We're not thinking of how to resolve the harmonic resolutions and modes. We're thinking of reharmonizing the melody and the choices and the options available to us as we reharm. This is a different way of thinking. And so I think I think I want to stop this there. You know, those of you who want a proper breakdown, I think at some point we will give you that. In fact, if this video gets, let's say, if I'm getting 20,000 views on this video, I will do the rest of the song here. Let me just try to finish this. So, he's just basically licking up an A flat chord. I love that, man. That's so crazy, man. This is Cory Henry.